Houston, we have a problem. What's up, guys? It's me, it's the ALE Double X Prince, and I'm here to give you another retro review, WrestleMania 17. Why did I choose this show? Despite it being the greatest show possibly ever, because everybody has said this is the greatest WrestleMania of all time. People have said this is the greatest pay-per-view of all time. What do I personally think? I agree with everything I just said. It is possibly the greatest pay-per-view of all time. I mean, this WrestleMania, if not one that I'll talk about later on in this retro review series for Double X Mania, there's really no other show that really sticks out to you more for WrestleMania. People always go back to watch WrestleMania 17 just because of the vibe, the feel, and the fact that it's just damn fun to watch from top to bottom. I mean, look at this show. First of all, there's times where like half of this stuff was thrown at the last minute, but it's worked for what it was. I mean, we kick off with Chris Jericho versus William Regal, a small little fight going on between these guys. It was a fine little match. If it went a little bit longer, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. Then we get oh, by the way, William Regal was a very underrated wrestler. I think we could all agree with that. And was he world champion material? Not quite, but he was definitely a really good talent, and especially this match showed it. I mean, he took on Chris Jericho, and then they had a really damn good underrated opener to WrestleMania 7. Next up, we got APA and Taz versus the Right to Censor. I hate the Right to Censor. I mean, I get the gimmick and all, but I mean, it just leads to what the fuck WWE tried to be in the PG era. And I'm glad that Taz and APA beat him, because it was a short little match, but it was still fun for what it was. And speaking of fun for what it was, we get Raven putting the Hardcore Championship against Big Show and Kane. You're probably thinking that sounds like garbage, but no, if you actually accept it for what it is, it's a damn good match. First of all, Raven's one of my favorite guys in ECW. I don't care what anybody says that he gets hurt a lot. It's fucking ECW. And this guy was really fucking awesome at the time. And damn, this was just a damn fun match. I mean, it was almost felt like a false count anywhere. Technically, it was a false count anywhere. This match is just going all over the place. They go out to the freaking backstage area. There's a part where Big Show tries to choke Kane, and then he reverses it, and Raven hits him. There's parts where Kane's driving like a little golf cart. It was pretty damn hilarious. And then Kane eventually ends up beating Raven and Big Show, and I don't mind, because honestly, I was just having a good time watching this match. If you actually watch it as a match and a comedy match, then you win. It's a win-win, because it's a damn good match and a funny-ass match at the same time. And I'm actually curious, how the hell did they do that? Now that I think about it, how did they make a match funny and a really good, skilled match at the same time? I don't know. Damn, back in the day, WWE knew how to like make shit good. Then we get Eddie Guerrero beating Test for the European Championship. I believe Eddie Guerrero was a heel at the time, and Test was like a very strong face. I don't remember exactly who's who, but I just remember that this was a time where we had the Radicals being over, and Eddie Guerrero lies, cheats, and steals his way to beat Test, and I thought it was a fine little match. Definitely one of the forgettable matches, considering it has two legends who, of course, rest in peace. Didn't get enough time, but for the time that they were giving, it was pretty good. Tess, for me personally, I wasn't too high on the guy, but he was still a talented guy. I'm not gonna deny that. And Eddie Guerrero, of course, is one of my favorites of all time. So yeah, it was a fun match, really good match. Next, we get to one of the better matches of the show. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. Now, I don't think this match was amazing, best of all time, but it was a really good match for what it was. Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit have great chemistry, and this is no different. This is one of the good matches, but I've seen so many better ones later down on the road. They had so many great ones in 2002. They had a steel cage match earlier this year. I didn't like their Ultimate Submission match because it was just a bunch of rest holds. Come on, if you guys actually sit through the whole match, it's just a bunch of rest holds for 30 minutes. But of course, my favorite one has to go to the one in 2003, Royal Rumble 2003. Not only is that one of my favorite matches from these guys, it's probably one of my favorite matches of all time. I mean, it was just that damn good. The story was there. It gave potential for Chris Benoit, despite who the fuck he is. Um, but yeah, this match itself, it was again really damn good. Not their best one, but it's still a great, awesome match no matter what. Kurt Angle eventually beats Benoit, but then backstage, Chris Benoit makes Kurt Angle tap out to what is the label lock, I believe it was called at the time. But I mean, Rabbit Wolverine and Kurt Angle, I mean, these guys could definitely go at it, and this is just the beginning of what they could do as the years go on by. So for that alone, it just boosted up for me. It's a damn good match. If you guys haven't seen it, first of all, how? Well, I know how because of Chris Benoit, but it's still a damn good match that you should go back and watch. Next, we get to a match that people give a dud, but I actually give it a no rating because if you accept it for what it was, it's alright. China beating Ivory for the women's championship. It's basically China squashing Ivory. No rating because honestly, it's just a moment where China just beats the shit out of a woman. And if you knew that was gonna happen, then you're good. Yeah, no more there. And moving on. Next, we get to Shane McMahon versus Mr. McMahon, WCW owner versus WWF owner. Holy shit! What a great fucking story this was. The story was there. I could go if in and out between the whole Mick Foley being the referee, but it was whatever. It was fun match. It was a damn really good match. We had a lot of involvement with everybody. Trish and Stephanie get involved in the match. Vince McMahon being the fucking asshole heel that he is. He makes fun of his wife, Linda McMahon, but then eventually she turns on him. It eventually leads to Shane McMahon winning. And if you actually sit through the match, it's a okay-ish match, but if you actually, there's no other match that you could have done for WrestleMania like this. It was just a really damn good match and a good moment for McMahon, Shane McMahon, nonetheless. Before you guys get confused, so yeah, I really enjoyed this match. It's one of the more underrated matches and probably one of my favorite Shane McMahon matches besides the one he had with Kurt Angle at King of the Ring 2001. But that's cheating because it's that fucking good. But yeah, this is another really good match. And showing that Shane McMahon could definitely work his way to being a really legit talent. Next match, we got the Dudleys putting their WWF Tag Team Championships on the line against the Hardy Boys, Edge, and Christian. This is not 5 stars, unlike the one at SummerSlam 2000 and the one from WrestleMania 16. It's still a damn good match. I'm giving it 4 3/4. The reason why I don't give it 5 stars is because it wasn't like the previous matches where, I mean, I know that the one at SummerSlam you did have Lita get involved, but I didn't like that they had a Rhino get involved. That was just really random. Spike Dudley, okay, fine, I get it. But I mean, all this interference just kind of killed it for me. But it's still a damn good match. It still has one of my favorite moments with Jeff Hardy hanging, getting the belts, and then Edge just spearing him. That was a damn good moment. But I mean, yeah. And honestly, I would have given the victory to somebody else personally. I didn't believe that Edge and Christian had to win all 3 of them. That's something that always stuck out to me. Like, I would have given the first win to Edge and Christian, the one at SummerSlam to the Hardys, and this one I would definitely give it to the Dudley Boys. And then eventually at TLC 3, where they had Benoit and Jericho, definitely have them win it, of course. But yeah, I mean, there was no. They should have definitely given the wins to Hardys or Dudleys, but then again, it really worked for the Edge's and Christian's characters of being really good heels. Easily, these 3 teams are my favorite teams of all time, bar none. If I have to choose my favorite out of the 3, the fucking Hardys. I mean, it's Jeff and my Hardy. I mean, shit. So yeah, I think it's a damn good match. Still, nonetheless, TLC 2. First of all, the hype for that alone is just really good. Next, we got the Gimmick Battle Royal. Really dumb-ass match, but I love it still. It's a dumb match. You get to see some of the good gimmicks, some of the bad gimmicks, but eventually Iron Sheik wins it. I'm whatever with it. No rating, really. If you know what it is and you're good, it's still a fun-ass match. Next up, we get a match that no one even talks about anymore. Undertaker versus Triple H. The first one, the actual first one, not the one at 27 and 28. Even though I love those matches a lot more, this is still a damn good match. I mean, shit. This is like, honestly, if Undertaker came back as like the demon or the dead man, I should say, and this would have been so much higher. But I'm fine with it. American Badass, I was never, I liked him, not to the extent of other people. He was kind of like, I just hated that they didn't bring back the Tombstone. He had the last ride as the finisher. You know, he was a little bit weaker as the American Badass, but I know this is still a damn good match. I didn't know this was no DQ. I was just fucking noticing it, like just going on, and who could forget that moment of Undertaker picking off for the last round, and then Triple H fucking hitting him with a sledgehammer. That was a damn crazy ass moment. I thought it was real at the time. I thought it was fucking real. I was like, oh shit. Now Undertaker was bringing like a motherfucker. I was like, oh hell no. But eventually Undertaker wins, of course, because Undertaker never loses at WrestleMania unless if you're Brock Lesnar. Next up, we get the best main event you could ever ask for at WrestleMania. Besides the ending, you can't deny that this is 5 fucking stars. First of all, I love the fact that the way it's just been built. I mean, Rock, Stone Cold, the build-up was great, and then people were wondering, really another main event between these two guys? Fuck that. This match was phenomenal. Easily the best main event maybe ever. I mean, people consider this their best match of all time. I mean, that's how good it is. The build is great. The fight is brutal. It just looks like two guys that really hate the fuck out of each other. And then, of course, it leads to the double turn with Rock turning face and Stone Cold turning heel, which is, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of McMahon coming in, and he shouldn't like even getting involved. But why the fuck did Stone Cold turn heel? Honestly, like, I wouldn't be shocked if he just stunned McMahon just for the fuck of it. I mean, I would have been fine, but I don't know, the way that shit happened, it was just weird. I mean, people always hated the Stone Cold heel turn, especially because Stone Cold eventually became a little bitch. I'm sorry, it's fucking true. But yeah, I think bar none, this is still a really damn good WrestleMania. Despite that, hell, I really wouldn't complain about the Stone Cold heel turn if he wasn't booked better later down on the road. Honestly. Then, because I gave you a huge shock, like, oh shit, Stone Cold and Vince McMahon shaking hands. What the hell is going on? So if they booked it a little bit better down the road, I would have been not as angry about it. But still, good ass show on bar none. 10 out of 10. It was a damn good show. Good theme song by Limp Bizkit. It's My Way. Everything about this show just says good. Even like the bad shit you could ignore because there's so much feel to WrestleMania that, I mean, just talking about it just made me really love the show. I don't know, 10 out of 10, bar none. Maybe the greatest show of all time. Anyways, that'll be it. Next retro review I'll be doing, you guys probably already guessed what it is. So I'll just say it. It's WrestleMania 19, simply because it's probably the second best WrestleMania ever, and I still have to think about it, so I'll rewatch that show, give you a review for it down the road. It's me, the AYL XX Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and until then, I'm out.